What up, YouTube? Today I have a very controversial topic to talk about, and before I even get into it, I want to say that I am in no way, shape, or form am I transphobic or homophobic or any other phobic. Should trans women play sports against biological women? And I know it's a very controversial topic. Most people don't even want to talk about it. They don't want to comment on it. They don't want to discuss it at all. But let's talk about it. Let's dive in. Although trans women have made the change and are now women, there are biological differences between someone who was born male and someone who was born female, which gives trans women an advantage over biological women. If you were born a male and you've gone through puberty, you have bigger bone mass, more bone density, you have bigger muscles. Generally speaking, you're going to be stronger, you're going to be faster, you're going to be taller, you're going to have a bigger heart. A larger heart results in higher cardiac output, which allows the heart to beat more slowly as more blood is pumped out with each pump. In other words, you will fatigue slower. You will have better stamina. You have bigger lungs. You have more testosterone. Males gain a large increase in testosterone during puberty. More testosterone allows men to build muscle faster and build bigger muscles, become a lot stronger. It drives muscle growth and more fast twitching fibers. Fast twitching fibers have the greatest ability to grow and exert force. Fast twitching fibers are used for activities that require high intensity performance, such as heavy lifting or sprinting, which is why men sprint faster and lift heavier generally, which is why men are stronger generally. Fast twitching fibers provide major strength advantages. Testosterone provides more red blood cells concentration, which provides more oxygen through the body, which is a huge advantage.
It's something that's actually happened. Leah Thomas was a swimmer at UPenn who started her collegiate career competing on the men's swim team. But during Leah's junior year, she started hormone therapy and
transitioned to be happy.
Previously, Leah was ranked 65th in the men's 500-yard freestyle, but as a woman,
Leah Thomas pulling away over the final 100.
65th when Leah was a man. And then when Leah transitioned, became number one. That should tell you enough right there.
150 meters wins the NCAA championship.
she ranked first after winning the national championship. It's controversial to even question this, but sports is competition. So to avoid falling behind, will more programs start exclusively recruiting trans athletes?
Complete what I signed up for.
It's something the World Swimming Organization has noticed. New rules will now only allow athletes who have transitioned before the age of 12 to compete in women's events. So the more controversial a topic, the more discussions we need.
Like I'm a big soccer fan.
Same.
Like women's soccer and men's soccer becoming competitive to the point where like some of them are like passing the same like records at the same time.
I had to disagree.
You do?
Well, because I have personal experiences with this. When I was like on a U16 soccer team, we played.
Women and men playing soccer, that's still not fair. A woman playing soccer against women, passing records that men are passing against men, it's not the same thing because these women are going against each other and the men are going against each other. So even if they pass records at the same time, it's not the same thing. They're competing against each other.
Played the Portland Thorns, so they were like the women's champions of that specific year. So they have like Alex Morgan, like a bunch of like these Olympic high-level athletes. We killed them 6-1, and we were 15.
A personal experience like
They beat them 6-1 and they were 15. As men and women are biologically different. Now, if you want to change gender and become a woman, by all means, I'm completely okay with that. It does not bother me at all. Like I said, I am not transphobic. But then when it comes to sports, we have to be fair, because then this is so unfair to a biological woman. A woman who's worked her whole life for this moment. And then it gets taken away from her. She comes in second, third, fourth, whatever place she comes in. It gets taken away from her, from someone who was at one point a biological male. She can't compete with that. That is, to me, that is so unfair. That is unfair to women. I understand that we want equal rights, and of course everyone wants equal rights. Trans people should have equal rights as well. But then when it comes to this, we're taking away the rights of biological women. And to me, that is not fair. And I don't even see how it's gotten here.
Like that only goes so far. You can have outliers because we're seeing individual women break like certain records and all that.
Against other women.
Exactly. They're breaking these records against other women. They're not breaking these records against men.
It is against other women, but we are also seeing those numbers match very closely to male numbers.
But don't you think numbers are always relative, right? Like, let's say if I joined a 8-year-old league, I'm gonna score 1,000 goals, right?
No, but numbers as far as like stuff like goals or like...
Yeah, I guess like what I'm arguing that it is relative though, right? Because you're comparing a woman who is playing against other women's, that record against a man playing against other men, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. With those numbers becoming closer, that is also a good sign that you're gonna move that like the bell curve closer and closer together.
Now, some people would argue that trans women have to take testosterone suppression medication. Testosterone suppression medication has to be taken for, I think it's up to a year. They have to take it for at least a year before they can start to compete against biological women. After 1 year of taking the testosterone suppression medication, then some of the advantages slightly decrease. But that doesn't change the fact that biological women will still be at a disadvantage against trans women. And yes, I get it. Trans women are women. I get that. But they still carry over many biological advantages. A trans woman who has gone through male puberty will always have an advantage over biological women. A lot of those advantages carry over and won't change. And if they do change, it would only be slightly. They're still going to have larger bones, bone density, muscle mass, strength, height, grip strength. Studies have shown that even after testosterone suppression medication, trans women still have 25% stronger grip strength than the average biological woman. So even though some of these things decrease slightly, it still doesn't even the playing field for biological women to compete in sports. Trans women have to prove that they have less than 10 nanomoles of testosterone per liter in their blood. But a woman's testosterone levels is from 0.12 to 1.79 per liter. So a trans woman having less than 10, that's still 10 times the amount of a biological woman. This is not fair. If testosterone suppression medication worked the way people think they do, then Lia Thomas wouldn't have gone from 65th as a male to first as a female. She would go from 65th as a male to something relatively the same, 50, 60, 70 as a female. But she didn't. She went from 65th as a male to first as a female, which proves that the testosterone suppression medication does not work the way people think they do. You can't erase the male puberty that a biological male has gone through. So even after transitioning to a female, you're going to still have that advantage of going through a male puberty. And taking testosterone suppression medication to block hormones is not going to level the playing field. Now, it's not transphobic to have this conversation. I see a lot of times this conversation is started online and then transsexual people will come out and attack you and say that you're transphobic. But that's just trying to not have the conversation when you say things like that. It's not transphobic. It's just trying to look out for biological women. Me, I care about humanity. So I care about equal rights for everyone, no matter which side of the spectrum that they're on. And when it comes to something like this is not equal rights for biological women. We're stripping women in sports from things that they've worked so hard for. We have so many people fighting for equality, as they should. But I think in the midst of trans fighting for trans equality, they forgot about biological women equality. Maybe trans women should compete against other trans women only. And I've heard someone say that, well, if you think that, then that means you don't think that trans women are women. No, I'm just saying that we need to keep it fair because trans women will have an advantage over biological women. That concludes this video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate everyone sticking around. I know this is a very difficult conversation to have, but let's have it. Like, subscribe, share. Peace.